Living for fulfillment, a journey beyond achievement. How to reclaim purpose, passion, and self-worth in a success-driven world. There comes a moment in every journey when the world applauds you, yet inside, a quiet storm is rising. The storm of expectation, invisible, heavy, unrelenting. People see your victories, your success, your accolades, but they don't see the weight pressing down on your shoulders. Success was supposed to feel like freedom, but sometimes it becomes a cage. In this chapter, we explore how passion transforms into pressure, how achievement can become survival, and why even the greatest victories can leave us feeling empty. We'll uncover the hidden costs of always winning, the warning signs of burnout, and the courage it takes to ask the questions that matter. Who am I without this? What do I truly value? This is not just a chapter about success. It's about freedom, growth, and rediscovering yourself. It's about choosing joy, even when the world expects you to climb higher, faster, and louder than ever before. Welcome to Chapter 1, The Silent Burden of Expectation. Chapter 1, The Silent Burden of Expectation. There comes a moment in every journey when the world applauds you, yet you feel a quiet storm rising inside, the storm of expectation. It is an invisible pressure that grows heavier with every victory. People celebrate your success, but no one sees the weight placed on your shoulders because of it. Success is supposed to feel like freedom, but at times it becomes a cage. Many dreams begin with love for the craft, the challenge, the thrill of becoming more than you were yesterday. Yet over time, that pure motivation can twist into something else, a desperate grip to maintain the identity that success has built. You become the role the world sees. You become the expectations people hold. You become the image you once created for yourself. Eventually, a question emerges, a question that shakes the heart. Am I doing this because I love it or because I'm afraid of who I am without it? How passion turns into pressure. Passion begins simply. Your body moves because it enjoys movement. Your mind stretches because it loves learning. Your heart chases a dream because it makes you feel alive. But then the world notices and suddenly people expect more. Friends and family attach your value to your achievements. Supporters begin to see you as unstoppable. Your identity becomes tied to performance. And slowly, the thing that once liberated you begins to imprison you. This transformation usually unfolds in stages. Stage motivation feeling result the start love, curiosity, excitement, growth, and discovery. The rise improvement, progress, pride, recognition, and rewards, the responsibility expectation, pressure, fear of failure, the trap identity tied to results, anxiety, burnout, loss of joy at the final stage. Success becomes survival. Instead of saying, I get to do this, it becomes, I have to do this. When your identity is tied to winning, losing feels like death. So you keep going, not for the dream, but for the fear of losing what the dream gave you. The hidden cost of always winning. Society loves champions, but only the ones in the spotlight. Away from the cheering crowd, the training feels like obligation, the discipline becomes punishment, and the glory feels distant. Joy becomes quiet. All that remains is the whispering fear of not being enough. If I stop, will they still admire me? If I fail, who am I then? If I lose, do I still deserve respect? If I quit, do I matter at all? Achievement becomes the oxygen you think you need to breathe. But if you always need the next success to feel worthy, how will you ever feel satisfied? How will you ever feel safe? The moral of the mountain: the world loves those at the top, yet the top can be a lonely, terrifying place. Think of mountaineers. Climbing gives purpose, and standing on the peak offers a few moments of awe. But no one can live there. The conditions are too harsh for life. You are not meant to stay at the top, only to visit. Yet many try to build their home there, clinging to success as if losing it means losing themselves. When quitting feels like failure, sometimes quitting is necessary, but pride whispers, you cannot stop, they will think you're weak. So you push harder through exhaustion, emotional emptiness, injuries, doubts, and loneliness. Success insists you must stay relevant. But here is the truth: if you must constantly achieve to feel worthy, you will never feel worthy enough. Burnout. The soul's alarm system. Burnout rarely begins in the muscles, it begins in the heart. It appears when progress no longer excites you, when the journey no longer inspires you, when the goal no longer fills you with purpose. Burnout happens when you pour out more than you receive, push harder than you heal, and chase louder than you listen. It is not weakness, it is wisdom disguised as exhaustion. Burnout is your soul whispering, "You're losing yourself. Please come back." You can win and still feel empty. Imagine reaching the top of your field. You are admired, celebrated, and crowned the best. People scream your name, yet inside you feel an unsettling quiet. Why? Because the finish line is not the true destination. Finishing only reveals that external rewards cannot replace the deeper internal desires to grow, discover, and feel alive. The medal looks shiny, but does it feed the heart? The applause sounds loud, but does it fill the soul? Nothing external can permanently fix internal emptiness. That is why even the greatest achievers sometimes cry silently when the lights go out. Success should expand you, not consume you. The truth is, many chase greatness because they feel unworthy, insecure, or unnoticed. Achievement becomes medicine for internal wounds. But when the applause fades, the wound returns. Eventually, you must ask yourself, do I want success to build me or to validate me? One path leads to freedom. The other leads to captivity. When identity must evolve, there comes a time when you must separate the achievement from the achiever, the performance from the person, the title from the truth. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to change the story. You are allowed to choose joy again. Your identity is not a trophy, and your worth does not expire with performance. If you remove the titles, the recognition, the reputation, would you still love yourself? That is the real test of a champion. The courage to ask why. Many people keep running because they are terrified to slow down. Stillness forces confrontation. Silence reveals truths we avoid. Reflection asks uncomfortable questions. Why did I start? Why am I still here? Who am I trying to impress? What am I afraid to lose? What do I truly value now? The most courageous action isn't always continuing. Sometimes it is evaluating whether continuing still aligns with your soul. Growth requires honesty, not just endurance. The journey is the real gift in every great story. Trophies sit on shelves and victories fade into memory. What remains is the transformation, the discipline, the resilience, and the realization that you are stronger than you ever imagined. Achievement is a moment. Becoming is a lifetime. True fulfillment is not found at the top. It is found in the growth that made you capable of reaching it. And when the lights turn off and the mountain disappears, it is your inner strength that continues to shine. The first step to freedom, a powerful shift, happens when you finally say, I choose this, not because I must, but because I want to. Success without choice feels like sacrifice. Success with choice feels like fulfillment. You deserve a life where discipline is a gift, training feels like therapy, goals inspire rather than suffocate, and your identity extends far beyond any title. You deserve a life where success is embraced, not demanded, where pressure elevates, not destroys, where you are not only a champion on a stage but a champion in your life. A new beginning. This chapter holds the first essential truth. Greatness means nothing if it costs you yourself. You are more than your achievements, more than the role you play, and more than what the world sees. Your next chapter begins not when you win again, but when you finally ask, who am I without any of this? The answer to that question is where freedom begins, where purpose returns, and where passion is reborn. And that is the journey ahead.